Joining me now, the Federalist election correspondent, Brianna Lyman, along with Fox Business correspondent, Lauren Simonetti.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, let's talk about this plunge in consumer sentiment because, we knew it was going to happen. I was surprised the estimates were as high as they were. Because every day people, the one item I showed her in the beginning of the show, we never had this many people respond to that to that survey that said that they've heard this much negative news ever. By far, never. All the negativity out there in the news is so funny because they keep pounding people. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And all of a sudden they take a survey. People think it's going to be bad. Yeah, you did it. You did it, Lauren.
Well, it's a bumpy period.
But it's bumpy. I mean, did you see the chart? It's never, not even close that this many people in this survey said, I've heard bad, negative news about the economy.
Yeah, because
that
we're
doesn't
in a
exist.
period of re-engineering things, moving supply chains, tariff. It's 25%, it's 50%, it's 200%. There's no tariffs. That people are nervous regardless of their
but they're not.
politics.
I don't think they would be nervous if the news. Nobody out there can tell you what a tariff is.
Sure.
By the way, we have them in place since 1750. They're here. They're there. And by the way, Trump hiked them in the first term. Biden didn't bring them down. He enhanced some of them. So in my mind, the media won, and they should take a bow because they made people out there feel like crap.
Yeah, Charles, and that's why we call them the propaganda press, because the consumer sentiment, look, we saw that in Donald Trump's first full month in office, February. We have the lowest CPI increases. We have lowest level of core consumer prices in 4 years. Those are signs of positive signs.
Right.
And yet every time you read the New York Times Axios, it's, things are good, but it's short-lived. They're couching expectations to scare people.
I saw one yesterday when CPI number was out. CPI comes in softer than expected, but egg prices are up under Trump. By the way, egg prices are down 40%. They're $5. They were $6 when he came in, went to $8, but they were $1 under Biden. All right, but here's something that I think is going on. This is a longer term problem. So I was looking at this list of countries, right? They ask, are you going to be, your children be better off or worse off? And at the top, who say worse off? France, UK, Italy, Australia, Canada, Japan, Spain. At the bottom, who thinks they're more optimistic? Who's going to be better off? India, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Philippines, Poland. What I think what's interesting about this, Brianna, is these are poor countries that still get married, still have a lot of children, and are still optimistic. In our country, we were told you can't get married, it's too expensive, and you should be pessimistic. What's going on? How did this happen?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. First of all, if you just look at the real wage growth at emerging G20 economies, in 2022, 2023, they're on a positive trend, whereas these developed economies, these G20 countries, they're actually declining, right? So that obviously hurts sentiment. When you talk about families, there has been a wave of this like feminist ideology that you don't need to have children, you don't need to have kids, and you can be a career person. Having kids is fulfilling in a sense. Lauren, I'm sorry you could speak to this too. But I think it encourages people to do better and to want more for their future, and they want to make the future better.
Lauren?
Sometimes when life is simpler, as it is in some of these, you don't have as many options, you are a happier person.
Yeah.
And we have been told for decades that in order to have it all, you can't have a family.
Right.
Or you can just resign to the fact that I'll be okay at my job, I'll be okay at home, and you have it all and you do the best you can.
What I feel, though, sometimes with these countries that that it becomes selfish. That since we don't think that there's a great future, then I'll just spend it all myself, But let's stay on the topic of happiness and joy and talk about forced joy. I want to get your thoughts on this, Lauren.
Forced joy.
Yeah, so some corporations, there's a trend now in corporations where they're telling their employees, you have to be joyful. You must be happy. Starbucks, Tiffany's, you like it?
I do. I love this because when I'm around happy people, I find that I'm more happy. And can I just say that these are the people I want to tip?
Right.
Like, when you're at
Right.
Starbucks or any store and they give you the computer screen, you're like, oh, what am I doing?
You're forced to give it to, and by the way, it starts at 10%. The service sucked.
I want to tip the happy people. And when you go to Trader Joe's, they actually bag everything for you. They'll even take it to your car. They are so happy, and I always offer to tip them. They're not allowed to take it.
Wow.
These are people that are forced to be happy and might actually
And Chick-fil-A.
be happy.
Really?
They might actually be happy.
I love the idea. I mean, it's called customer. They used to call it customer service. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing. And, first of all, Chick-fil-A, they have great customer service. They always use, ma'am, sir. It's really nice. I went to Starbucks just yesterday. They didn't even look me in the eye. They don't really care that they're taking my order. They're talking to someone else. And if I go to a local cafe, they are actually appreciative of my business. And that's the kind of company I want to go back to.
All right, I got less than a minute to go. I'm going to have a little fun here. And I got to start with you on this, Brianna, because 1 in 4 Gen Zers, the millennials, said that they bring their own condiments to restaurants. Essentially, Your generation doesn't like mustard or ketchup. You want this newfangled stuff.
Charles, I'm going to be honest. I own little mini jars this big, and I will bring my own condiments if I can.
Really?
I'm a germaphobe.
Huh?
I'm a germaphobe.
Oh, just because of germs.
Yeah, like I don't know what people are doing with those salt shakers. You know, you can't take too many.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Wow.
What about you?
No. Whatever the restaurant has, germs or not, I put it
So then let me
on.
ask you another cultural one real quick. Bill
Yeah.
Belichick is getting heat because he put his 23-year-old girlfriend on his emails.
Yeah.
What's wrong with putting your girlfriend on your emails?
Are you asking me that seriously?
Yeah. He's not organized. He wants her to help him stay organized.
Well, dedication.
Because he's 20. I don't get it. Because he's 80 and she's 23. I mean, what's the
There's
problem?
only a 50-year age gap.
Well,
Maybe-
she understands technology better than he does. Ladies, thank you both very, very much.